But I'm going, hey, I'm just here to find out. But it was so tense. You know, there was a little woman, she was about probably 80 years old. The war vets went to her farm in Zimbabwe and kicked her off. And I saw this little lady, she comes up to me and she says, you know, they're just screaming at me in Afrikaans, which I don't speak. But it was just the futility. After 400 years, she and her husband lose the farm their parents gave to them. And I don't know if that's going to happen here, but it's frightening. The thing I did find out in Zimbabwe was what kind of triggered the collapse of the Zimbabwe dollar was a thing called retirement pensions.
That's right.
And the U.S. is sitting in the same precarious position right now.
Wasn't it government pensions?
Any kind of pension.
Yeah. With
millions of people counting on the government pension to keep them alive when they retire. That's what I'm afraid of. That's why after talking to Harry Dent, I was depressed. And I'm upset.
When we come back, we're going to get into your new book and other world events taking place. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is our guest. You go to his website. Ladies and gentlemen, it's got a lot of powerful information, richdad.com. And we got to get this guy back more often than every 4 years. I only get him on every few months. And we'll also open the phones up. So stay with us. We'll be right back on the other side. 800-259-9231.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com Oil of Oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules, you will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Teleprompter-free radio, TV, Robert Kiyosaki. is our guest. RichDad.com, his new book, Second Chance for Your Money, Your Life, and Your World, and Our World. I am going to be listening very carefully to what he has to say. I remember back when his first big book, he had other books came out in the late 90s, my dad was like, you got to read this, you got to read this, you got to read this. My dad's been pretty successful at business, smart guy. And so I read it. And it just like, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense. I had kind of instinctively already agreed with so much of it, but I did learn a lot. But I tell you, I can't wait to read his new book. I've read 5 or 6 of his books, and they're excellent. I've tuned in when I get a chance online to his radio show. So you can find that on his website as well, richdad.com. And the reason I have other talk show hosts on my show is I don't care. I hope Robert has 1 billion listeners. I'm not some egomaniac. I know he's not as well. George Norrie has me on. You know, he's got 16 million terrestrial listeners. I only have about 5-6 million terrestrial listeners. Altogether, about 20 million online and YouTube and the rest of it. But he has me on because he wants to try to save the country and have a free system. I mean, we're all kind of in the same mindset here. We're fellow travelers, not in the socialist way, but in the opposite way, a true capitalist way. So we got to stick together. So if you want to defeat the globalists, get his book, read it, give it to others. If you want to defeat the crony monopoly capitalists that are discrediting capitalism, get his book. Listen, socialism, once it comes in, is so horrible, it always ends up getting reversed. So we've got a very good shot at beating this. The question is, can we beat it before we get really deep into it? And we're starting to get deep into it. So I hope you get his book. I hope you go to InfoWarsLife.com to get our great nutraceuticals, Survival Shield, Nascent Iodine X2. It's not like any other iodine out there. Consult your physician. It's true iodine. I don't call it nascent so much because the other nascent brands out there, we've had them looked at. They're not really nascent. This is pure iodine, 99999, you know, just boom. I mean, it's not bound. It's not an alcohol. It's an organic palm oil. It's injected as a gas in a patented secret process that the Russians invented. It's life-changing. It's the good halogen. Goes in, just pulls the garbage out, supercharges the energy. You use super male or super female vitality that we have discounted the month of February with it, 20% off. It's just, I don't know, what is it, like 18, 19 different concentrated herbs. The women's has a couple extra. That's why I get confused on the numbers. That are just known to give you more vitality, energy in the gym, your libido. I mean, believe me. Just try it. You'll be a repeat customer. And regardless, you're supporting the First Amendment and freedom and liberty and folks that promote the Second Amendment and sovereignty and family rights and property rights. So if the political class ever can be defeated, the insider political class, the crony class, it's when we, the people, start voting with our dollars consciously. And it's starting to happen with organic food, you name it. And that's why it is an absolute essential that you buy the T-shirts, you buy the books, you buy the films, and pass them on to others to wake them up, but also fund our operation. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. At the end of the day, money for me is about putting fuel in my truck so I can drive to the Grand Canyon and show my kids. It's not about I got money, look, I'm waving around some $100 bills. It's about I have freedom. And I try to use the money we've made to build a platform to promote your freedom. Because we're in this together. We all hang together or hang separate, as Benjamin Franklin said. This is a critical time of change. And the enemy's trying to take over in this point. We can seize this opportunity and really change things for the better. There are times in history when more happens in a decade than happened in the previous 100 years. We're setting our future destinies right now. Every major economist, philosopher, historian agrees. We're in a critical point right now, the beginning of it. The next 5 to 10 years. I want to see if Robert agrees with me, and then we're going to go to some phone calls, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. But it's so important now to tell friends and family about radio shows you like and pass it on. It's so important to promote other podcasts. It's so important to support our local affiliates and their sponsors. It's so important to buy the products because if we build it and you come, this will become the new pastime. If you want to expose an evil culture, become the new culture. Make art. Compete. Our ideas are like snow cones in hell, and they're selling flamethrowers in hell. People want to buy what we got, and we're selling freedom for free, but we need the platform to put it out. So go to InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. Check out the over 800 products on the site now. Most of it we can get shortwave radios, T-shirts, you name it, made in America. Some of it's not at a lower price. We let you make the decision. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. Again, Second Chance for Your Money, for Your Life, and for Our World is the new book. And he is joining us right now. It's 8 lessons in military leadership for entrepreneurs. I want you to talk about your book and any other issues you want to get to, and then I want to take a few phone calls, Robert.
Yeah, first of all, 8 Lessons of Military Leadership is a book coming out in a couple of months.
Well, I can't wait to read that one, too.
Yeah, and Second Chance is about where we are today, and people may need to change some of the things they're doing. If I could mention Second Chance, if I show it up to you, I love what you do because you give people like me, people with a different point of view, a chance to speak, versus what happens on television a lot of times. They'll put one person with one point of view and a person with another point of view, and they yell at each other. And we learn nothing.
The plan is to teach us how to fight with each other and never actually come together.
Yeah. So I appreciate what you do, and I agree with you. You know, cash has only one thing: it's put fuel in your tank, and to keep your business going, keep your programs going, and support, you know, people and messages you like. So I agree wholeheartedly with you. The reason I wrote Second Chance is because of all the confusion. So if I could be bold and show you a picture from the book here, what you'll see here are pictures. And although it's a very big book, the reason I made it in pictures is so that you didn't have to listen to the people yelling back and forth. Also, what happens for many people is when they read economic terms, they get confused. So Second Chance, part 1 especially, is everything's in pictures. So a 10-year-old kid could read it, an adult could read it, and the best thing about it is parent and adult, or old guys and young guys, could discuss the pictures rather than get confused about all the economic jargon that's thrown out there, like what is the GDP versus NDA and all this stuff. It's just pictures. So when you have a Second Chance is about pictures, you can explain to your family, your kids, by pointing, because you know, your kids will probably not read it, but they can see the pictures. And I think that's what makes the book differently. I'm not pushing an agenda. When you see, like I said, in 1971, 72, when I was in Vietnam, you know, I went, oh my God, I better wake up. You know, something's happening here. That's when Nixon took us off the gold standard. And if you know what happened, we started printing, and the biggest boom in history ever took off. We have never been this high. 17,000 Dow. Then in 1978, this is all in pictures in Second Chance. In 1978, the 401k came out. And basically what that was, the 401k was, the big corporations were saying to the little employees, hey, you're on your own, dude. You know, if you run out of money when you retire, it's no longer our problem. So when you see the 401k from that perspective, like it's the other side of the coin, and you look at the pictures, then you can start making different decisions for you, your family, and your life.
What do you make by the big banking cartels worldwide, and now they're floating it here at the State of the Union, the government, quote, taking over private 401ks and education 401ks to, quote, protect them, but throwing in class envy that these are, you know, lazy trust fund kids when they average things like $25,000. I mean, that's really scary when they start sniffing around the pension funds, the private pension funds. I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
And healthcare.
Yeah.
The whole thing. You talked about socialism versus capitalism. You know, I was a Marine. I fought for capitalism. I didn't fight for socialism. You know, when people say, what happened to the American dream? The American dream has gone to the entitlement mentality. And I look at all our senators and congressmen and presidents, they all expect the government to take care of them. And what's going to happen, if I'm correct, in 2016, and the whole stock market house of cards comes down, that means everybody who's counting on the government or the IRA or their 401k, they may be up the creek without a paddle. So that's why I started the Rich Dad Company back in 1997.
What do you recommend? I can't wait because I haven't bought your book yet. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to read it because I need to get my act together. I mean, I'm always learning more. I can't wait, though, till the other book comes out, 8 Lessons in Military Leadership for Entrepreneurs. Give us a sneak peek on that.
Well, it's about, you know, we have a high number of veterans who are unemployed. I mean, they're homeless, a lot of them. what I'm saying is that the military gave them some of the best training to become entrepreneurs, not employees. And they gave them such things as,